This is Mark Whitten.
This is Adam MacArthur.
This is Ann Yatko.
Hey everybody, this is Michael Yurchak.
This is Erica Harlicker.
This is Daquan Wilshire.
This is Rico Fajardo, and you're watching.
And you're listening to Spoiler Force Podcast. Set your heart ablaze.
All right, so this is episode 133 of Spoiler Force Podcast. My name is Ricky, and thank you for tuning in. As you can see, I am not in my home studio. I am at a cousin's place. If you know who Bobby is, he's been on several episodes, so you can recognize the background here. He has a lot of the figurines and all that stuff. But today's guest, I have another cousin on Spoiler Force. My cousin Savannah. Here, I believe you are the first girl cousin that's been on the show. I don't think I've had any of the girl cousins on, and there's a lot of them too. So, but yeah, you're the first one. So thank you.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know who else out of our girl cousins would do this.
Yeah, well, like it's just funny because like a lot of the other like Stephanie or like even Antier would be like, well, I want to talk about stuff on your show, and usually it's not like things they talk about, but today's episode is a little bit different too because we're talking about, as you can see on the title screen here, Singles Inferno, which is a 2021 Korean reality TV show on Netflix. It's 8 episodes. It's a very different take on. I think it was a very different take on reality love romance shows. So but yeah, so pretty much if you have not seen the show yet, go watch it on Netflix. Savannah and I will be going into detail of the cast members, our favorite moments, least favorite cast members, and our thoughts on the overall show. But Savannah, how did you get into, or how did you discover Singles Inferno?
So my Netflix is honestly just a bunch of Korean dramas right now because that's all I watch on Netflix. So I'm pretty sure like the algorithm and everything just like, hey, this is like a new show now. So I saw it, and at first I was actually really hesitant to watch it because I saw the preview and I was like, a reality Korean dating show? I don't know how that's gonna be. So I actually didn't watch it for like a good few weeks when it was like airing and everything, and then I was actually in Sioux Falls, and then one of my classmates was talking about the show, and I was like, actually that kind of sounds interesting, so maybe I will watch it then.
Yeah, I'm late as you can tell. I binged it all like a week ago, about a little over a week ago. But then I remember when the show dropped, and Christina and my brother-in-law Steven, they were watching it at home, and it looked kind of boring at first because like the first episode is them like just introducing everyone, and they're all like walking down to the beach and whatever. It looked really boring to me, and then I don't know. I guess last week I took a sick day last week, and of course I wasn't feeling well, but then like I didn't know what to do that day, so I was like, you know what, let's just not watch. Why not just watch the show that Christine and Steven started, because we're all sharing the same Netflix account. So we're like, well, why not just watch this show? And then Christina was saying like, you sure you want to watch this, because it gets pretty crazy. I'm like, okay, why not? So I watched episode 1, and then I recapped episode 1, then I watched episode 2, and then I was hooked. But yeah, are you familiar with the people who are like commentating on the show? I don't know any of those people.
Yeah, well, I know all of them now after watching the show, but I knew 2 of them because one of the girl commentators, I forgot her name, but she was like the one with the long hair.
Yeah.
I actually just got done watching a Korean drama that she was in.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, hey, I didn't know she like does commentary too. And then the other guy, Kyuhan, he's from Super Junior, so I was like, I know him.
Oh, okay. See, I didn't know any of that. I just thought they were like regular media people that was just commentating on the show. At first, it was getting annoying just because like they were giving their input on the dating and like what their advice would be and stuff. I thought it was kind of lame because I was like, why don't they just have people who actually date people commentate on the show? like why not just have people who are actually like either professionals in this field or psychologists in like dating commentate on what they're doing instead of just people in the media.
Mhm.
But as the show went on, I kind of got used to what they were saying, so I'm just like, okay, why not? They're entertaining, put it that way.
Yeah, that's so
Um,
interesting that you thought that way. I actually really, maybe it's because I watch a lot of Korean like shows and like Korean reality shows too, like more of their like game shows, and that's so typical for them to just include like random famous people to
yeah,
commentate on something that like they have no association to or like know nothing about, kind of. But it's honestly just to draw people in to watch
yeah,
them.
definitely. Like if it was like Big Bang commentating, I would definitely just watch it just to see what
Yeah.
Big Bang would say. But yeah, that was like my initial thoughts on just the people commentating. It was a little bit irritating. I didn't like that they kept putting their 2 cents in, and then like, it takes like when you're watching the show, cutting back and forth like that takes a lot from the show. Like it takes a lot of airtime out, and it takes a lot of like behind the scenes, or not behind the scenes, but extra scenes they could have put in for like those 2 minutes of them commentating. Like it went, there was a lot of back and forth for me. So like it wasn't until like towards mid season where I was like, okay, I got used to it. But yeah, just like I have the cast list pulled up on my cousin's computer here. We'll just start off with like the first girl that's on here, Song Jia. She is the girl. Oh man, this is a good one to start off with, because Jia, I thought she was so overrated in
Yeah,
this show.
same.
She's like not like not like aesthetic wise or face wise. Like I didn't. Oh man, this is good. We're only a few minutes into this podcast. Like there's so much to say already. I don't want to like pour all my beans out on the first 10 minutes, but Gia was just like, she was just a very prim, pretty girl, like she was just very, very very idol-ish, and I thought she was overrated only because like there was 3 dudes in this show that was chasing her.
Yeah, yeah. I was like, when I first saw her walk down the beach, I was like, I don't know what to think about her. Like she has a very different aesthetic than the other girls, and I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm not used to a lot of like the Korean beauty standards, so I get that she is like one of those types of
Yeah,
that represents the Korean beauty standard. So I get it. But yeah, I just think she was overhyped.
she kind of looks like I think she looks a little bit like Jennie from
Jenny,
Blackpink.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people thought that because after I watched the show, then like I swear my phone is like listening whenever I talk about the show, because then like my TikTok just changes to like the show, and like my Instagram feed, like it changes to like different just like all about Singles Inferno for a while, and everyone is like comparing her to Jenny from Blackpink, like putting photos of them side by sides, or like just commentating and like their similarities. But then I feel really bad for her though, because she actually got a lot of like backlash after the show. Like I don't know if you like
I
follow
didn't
after the
follow.
show, but
No,
like
no.
I
Once I
felt
was done,
so
I wanted to
bad
talk
for
about it on the
her.
podcast. I didn't even like look after anything.
No, I
I
felt so
followed some of
bad.
them on Instagram, but then I didn't look up to see what they did after.
Yeah, for like I think pretty much the whole first half of this year, because I watched like when it first came out, but pretty much this whole first half of the year, she deactivated, or like not deactivated, but deleted all of her like Instagram photos and everything, and like just started fresh. And she didn't come back until just like a month ago or so,
Oh wow.
because after the show there was like a huge controversy around her, and then everyone started
Was it
hating
something
on her.
like I read something online where like her clothes that she was selling
Yeah.
were fake.
Yeah. So like actually like to prepare for like the podcast, I was like just watching a few episodes, and I'm like, I hate that I'm doing this. I'm like looking at all of her outfits, like, I see now.
They're all like counterfeit or like something like that, right?
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
that's what it was.
Hmm.
I don't know too much about what she does. I know she's like a content creator based on what she
Yeah.
said in the show. But yeah, like I just thought she was very overrated, because even in the show, like just the context of the show, I don't know who this person is, but just based on the context of the show and how they cut the videos on it, she was very boring to me. Like when what's his name? try to find his name. When Hyunjung, the guy that looks like a tall Jay Park,
Yeah.
like he was like constantly trying to like spit game at her, and she just followed along and like didn't even try to converse with him. She just kind of liked the attention. That's what really like drew her away from me, I guess you could say, because of that. I honestly don't like when it's getting a little bit personal, but I also don't like when girls do that to me too, where like I'm like talking to you, and like there's no reciprocation or no common interest there. I'm not wasting my time doing that, and so she was doing that a lot throughout the show until like the last male guest came in. But then
Yeah.
even then, like she was just really boring to me.
Yeah, she had this like mysterious, or I feel like she tried to come off as like mysterious and cold, but then I don't know if it like exactly portrayed like the way she wanted to, but I kind of get it. Like she was more mysterious, and I laughed when her first like because they were asking like everyone in the cast like, oh, who did you like, or like who was the first person that like got your attention, and she was like, no one. No one's my type. And
Yeah,
I just laughed. I was like, "Oh my goodness!"
you're lying.
Yeah, when she said that, like, because everyone literally said someone else that they liked, and then she's the last one. She's like, "Nope, no one. I don't. None of these guys are my type."
Oh, so I forgot to mention. Man, we should have talked about the show first, but we'll continue on with the castmates. But I do want to let the viewers and listeners know this show is based on a week to 9 days of
Yeah, 9 days.
9 days spending on an island. So these people don't even really know each other like that. They're just spending like the limited amount of time getting to know someone quick, which is why, like I said, there's no like actual animosity or nothing towards these people. They're on this scripted show, but it's just like based on how the camera and how the editing was, which is why we're giving our critiques on the castmates too, like what they did that as us viewers didn't, at least for me as a viewer, I didn't enjoy. And like I said, she was very bland. I mean, her personality is super. Gia's personality is very bland. There was just nothing there, not like besides her looks that caught the audience. Like there was nothing about her that would be like, if I was on the show, I wouldn't want to pursue someone like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you have anything else to add on before we go into the next person that's on this website here?
I think the last thing I would add about Gia is that like I feel like the more you watch the show, at least from in my opinion, it might be different because like I'm a girl, so I'm seeing it from like a girl perspective. So I'm she does grow on you as the show progresses, at least for me. Like I feel like we got to see more of her like
Towards
herself
the end.
towards
Yeah.
the end of the show.
Yeah.
So I do feel like you just have to keep watching to actually finally be able to like her for
I think
like
it's
how they
different
edited her.
for I think it's different for a female's perspective only because you're looking at her without interest.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're looking at this I keep wanting to sing character out. So used to doing like anime reviews.
Shows. Is an actual person.
You keep looking at Gia like as if like you could possibly be friends with her in that kind of lens, you know. So it's not like where, let's be honest, like it's not like there's no sexual attraction to this person, unless you are a woman with sexual attraction to other women, then that's different. But for you, Savannah, you're looking at her as if like, how could I be cool with this person instead of, for me,
Yeah,
I'm
like,
looking
we're
at her like
friends.
how can I like how can I what's the word how could I guess attract her, like it's like that. But yeah, I would honestly would not, she's not on my list of my favorites out
Yeah,
of the
I get that
castmates.
because like that's how I view all the guys on the show. So it's like
Yeah.
I get it.
Okay. Well, the next we're going through all the female cast members first since they're on the website first. The next one, Shin Jion. She is the
The second
wait,
favorite
she
one.
wasn't she's not the klutzy one, is she?
No,
Is she
she's
klutzy?
well, I think the way she introduced herself on the show was like I'm kind of clumsy, or like, she had a lot of
Clumsy.
clumsy moments.
Yeah.
More, I don't know how to like. she kind of came off as like really clueless, not like clueless in a bad way, but like the
Like
flirty
airhead
clueless.
sort of.
Yeah, airhead. Yeah, that's like the kind of impression I got from her at first, like a oops, I dropped this kind of thing on purpose.
I gotta say, Jiyeon was not one of my favorites, only because like if you watch the show throughout, like she got irritating to me progressively as the show went on. But I do like she did give like a very good first impression, especially when they went into her background, like her going to the University of Toronto, learning about like the brain and neuroscience. And I thought that was really cool to kind of get that backstory on her. But then other than that, throughout the show, she was, I don't know, I don't want to say like she was too young, but like compared to the other castmates, she is young.
Yeah.
So I don't have much to say about her except between what happened between her and what's old boy's name? Find his name. I want to Sehun, Moon Sehun.
Yeah.
Like besides what went on between her and Sehun, other than that, like I don't have anything else really bad to say.
Yeah. I feel like I was honestly really, when they came out about like what she does, I was like waiting for it. I was like, watch her just be like a model or something. But then when he's like, oh, she's a student studying neuroscience, I was like, what? Like, I was really surprised.
I wanted to hear her
honestly
speak
did not
English or
expect
something.
that. Yeah, because she's like going to University of Toronto, so I was like, she has to speak some sort of English.
Or
But
maybe
I was,
Canadian or French Canadian since it's in Canada.
yeah, but I was so surprised with her, like at least her occupation or like what she's doing right now. But yeah, I would say overall, like her, like in the show, I don't know if they just didn't like the way they portrayed her on the show was like not how she. I don't know if that's how she is, but the appeal to her again, I think is just like the typical Korean beauty standards, like fair skin, really skinny, kind of cutesy, girly, kind of
very idol-ish.
Yeah.
Very like Japanese peace sign type shit.
Yeah. I think it was one of the girls, I forgot which girl, made a comment. It really stuck with me, and like on June, because someone said that she looks like an anime character, like someone who you just pull out of like an anime. And I was like, yeah, she does. She does look like an anime character.
Yeah, I can see that. I think, like I said, she gave a very strong first impression. But if I'm to go into detail of like why I didn't like her, it's definitely because of her and Sehun. Not entirely her fault though, because he was definitely simping for her big time, which we'll get into when we talk about him, because I don't want to like throw all this out just yet. But he was hooked on her for sure. And I just didn't like how she went about it. Like I get she was playing like nice, at first, like when she would say like, "Oh, I'm tired," or "I don't feel like walking," or something. It's something very simple, like but she didn't make it clear that she wasn't interested into this guy until like towards the end. And then I don't think there was any interest there. Do you think she was interested in him? Or I just think she felt bad for him because he was trying so hard.
I could not tell. Like, I feel like, I don't know, maybe it's because I'm a girl and I've done that before. So I'm like, girl, same. That's what I would do.
Play hard to get, or like play nice.
Yeah, I'm the type that like if I'm not interested, I'll just play nice.
You need to be like, "Oh, I don't like you, you ugly." Like
a part of me is like, man, I need to be more like Gia, like just like kind of who you want, and then you just go for that person and kind of ignore everyone else or something. Yeah. But I was like, yeah, I can't really like complain about her and the way she went about that, because I've done that in the past. So when I was watching her, I was like, is that what it looks like? Is that what it looks like? It gives a good perspective for me.
You need to see it. That's how guys view it too. Like at least for me, guys, I don't like that kind of shit. Like I think it's stupid when girls play nice to me. Like I get you want to be nice and you don't want to like hurt people's feelings, but some dudes need it. Like for me, like I need you to tell me like back the F off, like I'm not gonna catch the hint unless you tell me like I don't like I don't like this. Then I will feel bad. I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do that. I'll back off. But if you're not giving me any like subtle hints or anything that'll make me like, oh shit, I'm like creeping, then I wouldn't know if I was actually doing that. Unless like I catch myself doing it. But other than like if I'm pursuing someone, I'm a total idiot. Like I would not notice that. I would be just like saying when I would be like an idiot. So you want to go like walking on the beach, like like some like but your gesture has a nice intention to it, but the way how you say it just sounds creepy.
Yeah, and I guess, and also in the way like it was edited in the show is mainly from like poor like I know we're gonna get to him, but it was like edited to be like, oh, look at this poor guy and this girl who's just like stringing him along, like,
exactly. That's
just nice. And I was like, oh man, is that really what it looks like? Because at least from my perspective, like a girl's perspective, when I've done that in the past, it's like I just don't want to hurt your feeling, and I feel like this is doing you a favor in like not hurting your pride or your feelings, like because then. But then at the same time, we're like, oh, but I'm just saving myself from like feeling bad. So
you know at the end anyway, the guys will be in their fields. Sehun was in his fields for the majority of the show.
Yeah.
He was in his fields. That was yeah. But other than that, I think that's what irritates me the most about Jiyeon. Like she was kind of oblivious to how he felt towards her. Like she didn't like him, but she didn't know how to handle telling him that I don't like you.
Yeah.
I'm not interested in you. But then she just stringed him along until towards the end where like when she finally was like, okay, no one else is pursuing me, so why not just pursue this guy? Which is one thing I hate about this show too, which we'll get onto later on. I hated that. Like I just there's like 4 other dudes on the show, man. Like just shoot your shot.
Mm-hmm.
It's so annoying to me.
Yeah, but I don't think like I couldn't tell if it's not that I couldn't tell. I know she's not like she wasn't oblivious. Like she saw how like he was pursuing her. I'm pretty sure she knew that he liked her. She just wanted to pretend that like she didn't know. Because I totally done. I've done that before. I've done that before, so it's like I could get what she's doing.
Did you have any last comments on Jiyeon? We'll probably like towards the end of the episode go back and like recap a few things we said, but any last comments about her?
No.
All right, so on to the next one. Ooh, best girl, Kang So-yeon. I think that's how you say her name. Oh, she was my favorite. She was my favorite. I feel
like she was a lot of people's favorites after like in the show. At least like not like maybe not the Korean like favorite, but I feel like a lot of other people who watched the show that was like, why was she not more popular, I guess, or like why weren't guys more interested in her?
She stood out to me like so much. Like my buddy Moa, who wanted to be on the podcast, sadly he couldn't make it. He had a final exam, so school is more important. But Moa even told me like this was the girl that he would like too. Like yeah, but Soyeon was like, man, she caught my attention quick. I was telling like Bobby and Lynn, I was like, if I was on that show, she would have been first one I would have pursued. Like I would have pursued her quick. I don't know. I think something about her just like she just looked really naturally pretty. Like she didn't have that regular Korean like the modern Korean day aesthetic where she's first of all she's tall. She's tall. She's athletic, very sporty.
Yeah, I think her too.
She's what?
Like she has like darker skin than
the other girls too. She has a dark complexion, which is that's a plus for me. But what really drew her to me was she was like, oh yeah, I'm a boxing coach and I do jujitsu.
Oh yeah.
I was like, oh my god, I'm in love. Like I'm like, where is she? Where is this woman in my life?
She's actually like very well rounded. The way that she presented herself at first was like very sporty, like into a lot of different sports. Very like she had a lot of variety to her, and which I was like, I don't get why the guys weren't more interested in her because she was honestly the one that in the beginning talked the most to the guys, and then with like I don't know, showed like the most of her personality at first too.
I think that's what really stood out to me about So was her personality, because like she was very vocal about her
Mhm.
intentions and what she wanted from the show. I just I don't know. I guess that what irritated me about her was like I think I could be wrong. I think she was letting her age get to her, because
Mhm.
she is a bit older on the show. She's I think on the show she's like 34,
Yeah.
and a lot of the women on the show are like under 30. So like
Yeah, in their
you know
20s.
yeah. So I I don't know how you would feel being the oldest woman in the contest, but I can only imagine like there's some sort of self consciousness there, like where she.
Yeah, I think it does play a role because I feel like when you're, I mean, I've always been the youngest person in all of my friends groups, so I don't really know, but I'm starting to get to the point in my life where I'm like, all my friends who are my age are like in a relationship or married. And so now I'm starting to be like the oldest single one amongst my friends. So I can kind of understand like why she felt like the way she felt because I feel like when you, and I used to a girl, when you are older, sometimes you have this misconception that when you're older, you're like not as wanted or like no one wants you because you're old. And sometimes that can like really cloud your thoughts. So
Yeah.
I don't know if that's like what affected her or not, but I feel like she was still pretty boss throughout the whole show though.
Yeah, the sports challenge when she was running. Oh my God, she it was so obvious she was gonna win. Like
Yeah,
Gian and
that
Gia were not gonna win. Clearly, they were not gonna win. They were not athletic to outrun her. Like, and the thing
yeah.
too, like again, like Soyeon she's like an Amazon out there. She's tall
Hmm.
and like very fit. So it was just funny watching her decimate all the other girls in the running challenge.
Yeah,
Um,
and how no
but
one wanted to like verse her in the where like they had to grab the hat off of
oh,
like
the
their head.
chariot one,
Yeah,
yeah.
like, no one wanted to verse her because like man, we're just gonna lose.
No, because her partner was also a muscle guy too.
Yeah, it
He was
was.
the new contestant, Cha Hyun Sung. Like he was
Yeah,
like a really tall, muscular dude too. So like they had like a super alpha team right there. Which
yeah.
surprisingly, I'm surprised that they lost though, because
I'm
you
surprised too.
you'd think that they'd win. But I thought that was just funny how like everyone saw them team up and like, oh my God.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of nice things I would like to say about Soyeon. But I guess one thing that did what she did on the show that I didn't enjoy particularly was like when how she got so hooked up on Jin Taek, the the I guess the younger guy that she was talking to, because you can tell like on their first paradise date, like she was already trying to hit it off like immediately. Like she wanted to find someone immediately. Like she wasn't like giving time to get to know him and the other guys. Like if she found a common interest with him, she was gunning for it. And I
Hmm.
think she says on the show too, like she said something like I'm always waiting for someone to make a move on me, so now I'm gonna make the move first. And I just I don't know. I could be wrong. Again, all of these assumptions are just based on what I was seeing through the show. So I think her age, I think she felt like her age played a huge factor. I could be wrong. Maybe it's not, but
Yeah.
maybe her age did play a factor to where like I need to find, or I need to at least lead the show as a couple and not be failed as like the oldest single person here type of
Hmm.
deal.
But I also wonder how much of it, because I know in like Korean culture, like age is like a pretty big thing. Not so much where like they care like how old you are, but more like in respect wise, where you feel like you have to take care of the people who are younger than you. Because at least like what I see in like all the Korean dramas and like more like I like immerse myself into like all these Korean shows. I notice how when you are the oldest one there, you feel this need to take care of the people who are younger than you. And so I wonder how much of that role she felt like she had to kind of take on for like the girls, but then like also like the guys. Because there was a point in time in the show where she like pulled Sehun aside after like he was all like moping and everything.
Yeah, she
And
was like comforting him.
yeah, she was like talking to him, and I was like, wow, is this like what she's trying to do as like the older like Nuna, like trying to like take care of him, but at the same time, I don't know either.
Okay, well, now that you put it like that, it is kind of weird though because Sehun did put the card in her mailbox,
In
right?
her mailbox, yeah.
Yeah, so I see. This is where I get like irritated because I didn't like how they were all just stuck on one person. I really wish that the castmates like kind of found time, or at least the people on the set like found ways to make these people mingle more amongst each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like maybe her and Sehun didn't work out, but she could have like spoke with that fashion dude. We'll get to their names momentarily, but to other castmates on the show, and they kind of like were they were making it seem like there was going to be drama between her and Sehun, like as they were like I guess consoling one another, because when she only picked him because she thought that Jin-taek wasn't going to take take the another girl out, and he took out Ji-yeon instead.
Yeah.
So it's just funny that the guy that she picked on purpose, they were both left on the island while the other two members were on Paradise Dates.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that maybe she was trying a little bit too hard for one person. She could have just So-young could have just put more effort into trying to know other people.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, like the show, it's what 9 days. Like it's impossible to get to know everyone. But like I didn't like that there was that kind of pressure for castmates to be like, which one out of like the hand-picked people here am I going to pick?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just that's my only complaint about So-young.
I feel like they picked who they wanted in like episode 1 and episode 2, and then that's just like who they stuck with the whole like season.
Yeah. That's what I didn't like. But other than that, So-young is still my favorite. She is number one out of the female castmates on my list. It's her, and then there's the next one that's my number 2 is actually next on this list. So did you have any last comments about So-young before we move on?
No, I don't.
Okay, so on to the next castmate. We have An Ye-won. She was number 2 on my list. She's
actually my number 1 out of all the
really
girls. Yeah, I love her personality because she's just like so bubbly and funny, and
she's so goofy.
Yeah, and I love her personality. But my only thing that I hated, and it's nothing on her, but the show is like I feel like she got so little screen time.
Oh no, she did. I think she's even mentioned like she didn't have enough airtime.
Yeah, and I was just like, why would they not air more of her? Because I feel like all the other girls, they're all pretty. Yeah, they all like do like they all have their own personality, but like she had
they had no personality.
Like she had like the biggest personality out of all of them, and I was like, I just want to listen to her talk because she's so funny, but she has so little airtime.
The way how she spoke was a little bit different too. I don't know. I can't tell if it's like because she had an accent, but she's from Busan, right?
Yeah, she had the Busan dialect.
Yeah, because I thought it was cute the way how she spoke. Like it really stuck out to me. Like the way how she speaks, the way how she carried herself. Even when she was trying to be like flirtatious, she wasn't even that good at it. I just everything about that was like was very very cute to me. Like I was like, man, I would definitely go for this girl, man. Like no one pursued her. That's the thing too. Like no one pursued her.
No one even wanted her. I was like, what are these guys like?
Are they blind? Like
blind? Because she was honestly, I thought she was really like out of all the girls, she looked and like her and So-yeon like looked the most natural to me, which is maybe because we have different beauty standards. I get, but I was like, she looks the most like natural, and like she's really pretty. She has like the great personality. Like I don't get why none of the guys pursued her that hard, and I was so sad for her when she like opened her mailbox that first day and she had no like notes.
Oh yeah,
I was like, oh, so sad for her because she's so pretty and she's so funny. But
yeah, I would have like definitely pursued her. Like she was just very very cute to me. Like I liked everything. I have nothing bad to say about her besides like maybe she was a little bit too gossipy. Like every chance that she got on screen, she was talking about someone or a situation of someone. So like that's probably one thing I didn't like, but that's what that's. I guess you would say that's girl talk. I
That's
guess.
girls. Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
that's what girls do.
But other than that, I have nothing else bad to say. I just felt bad, like we said, she didn't have enough screen time. If she had more airtime on the show, I think viewers will definitely like her a lot more. And I'm pretty sure people do because like even on Instagram, she has over 1 million followers already. So
Yeah,
I think people, she drew in a lot of people that likes her.
yeah, I agree. I think so too. I've been following her on Instagram, and I just like love all of her content because when you compare her content on Instagram to how she was in the show, it's very similar.
Yeah.
Like either that's just how she portrays herself in general, like online, like in social media, or maybe that's like her personality just coming through. And I was like, I feel like she was one of the most real people on the show too. With all of her comments that she had to make, she had a lot to say all the time. So I was like,
Yeah.
I feel like we really got to see who she was too.
Did she get to go on a Paradise Date? I forgot.
Yeah, she did. I think. I
She
think they all got to go at least once.
Who did she go? She went with what's his
I
name?
forgot his name. The other.
Like Jin something, right? Or Jun Sik, right?
Yeah.
Jun
Yeah.
Sik. He had like the split hair,
Yeah.
like the perm split hair
Yeah.
sort of. Yeah. So yeah, the guy that she pretty much picked at the end, right? That's who she went on Paradise Date
I
with.
feel like they didn't really want to pair up together, but then they just paired up together. Like I know she liked
for
him.
the sake of pairing up.
Yeah, I know
They
she liked
paired
him
up.
from the beginning because from episode 1, he was the one that caught her eye, but he didn't like. It didn't seem like he was like attracted to her or like that he was interested in her until like I don't know. I was surprised that like they left together because I didn't think he was interested in her like that.
My sister said that she only like left him for the sake of the show. Like it didn't even look genuine. And she's like, okay, like she reached out her hand, like, all right, you can take my hand. I'm like,
Yeah,
we all know you're just being nice.
When she just started walking away, I was like, wow, okay, like walk away because he didn't really like you. But then she like paused and took his hand. I was like, okay, I guess for the sake of the show.
Yeah, you're just being nice. Like I there was no interest there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. That's all I have for Itaewon. Do you have anything else yet? Yeah, anything else you wanted to add on?
No, I think that's all for her. She was my favorite. That's all I gotta say.
Okay, and then we're on to the two new female castmates that was added on later in the show. Which I did you like that? I didn't like that they added new guest members mid season. I thought that was dumb.
Yeah, I would have liked it if they added them earlier or like I don't know, it's just sooner because I feel like it was so unfair to them. They had no time and like everyone was already so like tunnel visioned on who they wanted.
Yeah.
So they didn't even give the girls a chance, which I feel so bad for them.
The guy too. Like I just didn't like that it was already like what day 4 or day 5, and you barely have time to even get to know these people. Like you're behind on everything. You gotta learn who these people are on all that. I didn't like that. I don't think that's a great idea. They should have just added them on at least. If you're gonna do like a late entry, at least do like day 3.
Yeah.
Middle of the show was too soon. But the next guest here I have on this list is Kim Soo-min. She was my number 3. I thought she was very, very cute, very, very attractive. Other than that, like she's the one I sent you. Like I'm gonna try to reach out to her. See if she wants to be on the show. But man, there wasn't really much to not like about her besides like I just thought she stood out a little bit to me. Like she was very different from all the other female castmates on there. I did think it was funny though, like initially when she was on the when she walked onto the show, how intimidated all the other women castmates were. Like, I don't know, is this could this be like a female thing? Maybe you can answer for me, but like it's when you see someone new, like they all like gazed at her, like Like, there was like an underlying passive aggressive way how they spoke to her. Like, oh my gosh, she's so pretty. But I know deep down they did not mean that shit. They're like, shit, competition's here. Like the guy that I like may not like me because they might like her type deal.
I feel like it's just the whole like, oh, she's going to be the shiny new toy that like all the guys are going to want. Like, I feel like because I watched The Bachelorette and like The Bachelor, and then I watched like Bachelor in Paradise too. And in Bachelor in Paradise, it's like the same thing because they bring down like new women and new men like every week, and so that's always the case. Whenever a new girl walks down the steps, all the girls are like, oh shoot. Oh my goodness, is my man gonna leave me for her? Like, are they just going to like go after her now? It's just funny because I feel like whenever a new guy walks in, the guys are like, oh, my friend's here or something, but the girls are like, I don't know.
You can clearly tell in like the way how they do. It's like so young. I think she had the biggest facial expression. Like at least the camera caught it. Where they're looking to see who it is, like I guess I'm not saying all women are like this, but there are like you can tell by body language and by the facial expressions if there's some sort of like competition like that's there, or there's some sort of intimidation there. Because now it's not just you, like guys aren't putting their attention on you no more. There's someone else there that's causing a rift or a divide. So that now the women in the show have to like step up their game to maintain that like I'm the one that they want type of deal.
Yeah, I feel like it's just the way the show like set it up to be as well. But honestly, I think at that point it's like I feel like the couples who were like coupled up just got to a point in their relationship where they're like, okay, like we're getting to know each other more. Are you like me? I like you. And then like bam, a new girl walks in, and then all the girls are just like, we just established our relationship with these guys. Like, what's gonna happen now when this new girl comes in? But
all this work is wasted.
They set it up as if there's going to be like more drama, but there was no drama.
That's what I thought. That's what I initially thought, and then like I said earlier, like I did not like how they did it because it made the other castmates pretty much look like they wasted their time on the show. Like I would be very upset if I went onto the show mid-season just to try out and like have little to no connection with anyone there. Like, why am I wasting my time on the show for then? That's so stupid.
Yeah, I know. I felt so bad for those two girls that just came in last. I didn't really feel too bad for the last guy because I feel like all the girls were like, "Ooh, who's this guy?" But
they didn't really establish any like attraction towards him.
Yeah,
I think if anything, there was just that little bit of, which we'll get onto, but like he had like a I guess you could say some sort of advantage when he came into the show. No, but for Sumin though, like I said, I don't have nothing bad to say about her. I just did not like that Sehun, Choi Sehun, the guy that she was pursuing after Sehun like turned her down. Like he did her so fucking dirty. I hated that. I felt so bad for her.
Yeah, I know when I did not like him. So I did not like him. So everything he did, I was just like, oh my goodness.
I was getting pretty like emotional, like emotionally invested. I was like, you are such a bitch. Like why are you doing that to her? Like she's taking you out on the paradise date. She's being nice to you, and you just treat her like that. Like get the fuck out of here.
Yeah,
you deserve to get your hand burned.
Yeah, like we're not even talking about him yet, but he's like my least. He was the least favorite character in the show. I was like, oh my goodness, this dude. I had high hopes for you, but you're just like after every episode, he's just like down. Like okay.
We will get to him in a bit. We'll give our thoughts on him in a bit. But any last thoughts on Sumin? No. Okay, so on to the last female cast member, Sung Minji. She is. This girl was pretty young too. Like she was the gamer and model. Yeah. I think if anything, the only thing that really caught my attention about her was like she said she played Apex. I'm like, oh shit,
yeah,
they have a gamer girl on here.
I feel like I got to know her a little bit more than Sumi, because
Yes.
like of that one date that she went on and they're like talking about all their interests and everything. I got to know her a
Oh
little
yeah,
bit
she
more.
was on the boat with the
Yeah.
sailboat with Sehun, and they were
Yeah.
talking about their interest, and they
Their
were
interest is
polar
like very
opposites.
opposite. I just
Yeah,
thought it was
yeah.
so funny. I was like, wow,
Yeah, I did that.
wow.
I like when he's like, "What kind of music do you like?" She's like, "Oh, I like hip hop." Like hip hop. Like, and then what do you like? He told her, "Oh, I like ballads and
Yeah,
like very romanticized music." And I was like, "Yo, like he picked the wrong girl, or
I
he
know.
picked her,
Well,
right? Or she picked him."
she picked him because
Oh,
she
okay. Oh
liked
yeah,
him.
because his nose.
Yeah, she liked
Yeah,
his nose. And I felt so bad for her because at that point in time that was when Jiyeon was like she was not into him. So I was
yeah,
like, he should give her a chance because she like actually likes you. So,
yeah.
but then
That's what pissed me off too. We'll get to Sehun in a bit, but like that's what, like Minji like was pursuing him, and
yeah,
she even said in the show, like even though there was no common interest, like because of their conversation, like she was already attracted to him because of that.
yeah,
And then it was so awkward when her and Sumin were like talking to him at that little where the ice water is at. How
yeah,
awkward that was! Like, yo, way to make it weird. Like
yeah.
he didn't. There was clearly two girls that was like chasing him, even though Jiyeon turned him down. That gets me heated. I was like, wow, man, like you don't see this, bro. Like,
Yeah,
really?
I just love the way the show is edited too because they just like I feel like every awkward moment they just like they wait it out just so you can feel how awkward it is.
Yeah, like no music background or anything. It's just
Yeah,
like camera angles, like The Office, right? Just camera angles and just
yeah, camera angles,
awkward
and then like
silences.
you just see them like staring around, like looking at
Yeah,
each
like
other,
sipping the
and
water and
yeah,
like, do you want to go back now?
yeah. Uh,
Yeah, but the only thing I gotta say, the only thing I did not like about Minji was like she was just very salty at the end.
mm,
Um, I get it though. Like you're upset that things didn't really go your way. Like she came off pretty strong too in the beginning. Like when she got introduced, she was like, if there's someone that I like, I'm gonna pursue them, type of deal. So like she already had her mindset on what she wanted on the show. Is just what happened to her was it wasn't like the greatest either. But I just thought that like she like suck it up, like don't be so salty about it. She let the situation with her and Sehun like ruin the rest of her week on that show. Like she could tell like she barely wanted to participate in it.
yeah, which I'm like, I could understand her. I was like, I'd probably be the same way too. Like, you guys are gonna bring me in last minute to this show, and then when everyone's already coupled up, and then the guy that I like doesn't even like me back. Like, I just don't want to be here anymore. Like, I would not want to be there anymore. And then they just did her dirty at the end
Oh
because
yeah,
like the way they like positioned everyone, like he has to walk past her to get to Gia. I'm like, they did her dirty. Like,
he's like,
I
thank
feel
you so much. He
so
shook her hand and walked away.
yeah.
I was like,
I'm like, oh
no.
my goodness, I felt so bad for her. Like they just did her so bad. Like
Oh man. Hopefully though, hopefully when they do a season 2, they can bring back Sumi and Minji just to
yeah,
kind
like give
of
them more time.
redeem themselves on the show, so
Yeah.
they can, now that they have experience on the show, they get to experience the full week
Mhm.
on the show. But that's pretty much all the female cast members.
Yeah.
I believe there was more females than males. Right? They had like one more female guest on the show than the men's, right?
Um,
Or was there? Yeah, no, there was
I
one
think
less
it
because there was
was
four. Initially, there was 4 girls, and then there was
yeah. There's
5
4
guys,
girls. Yeah.
and then they brought in 2 more girls and 1 more guy. That's right.
Yeah.
If you want to start your own podcast like Spoiler Force, then sign up with Buzzsprout. Buzzsprout has helped hundreds of thousands of users like me to begin their podcasting journey. With easy-to-use tools, you can effectively get your podcast into different platforms like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon, iHeartRadio, and more. You can view your stats, create audio clips, and even have your own podcasting website. Buzzsprout offers ideas, tips, tricks, and tutorials to help you improve your podcast. Follow the link below, and once you sign up, you'll get a $20 Amazon gift card. This will let Buzzsprout know that I sent you and will also support Spoiler Force Podcast. If you want a simpler way to record both video and audio for your podcast, then sign up with StreamYard. StreamYard is the perfect program to create podcasts, host live streams, and even do video calls. There are many tools that can help you create and design your own personal studio. You can screen share, read live comments, and stream to different destinations like Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. You can also download your video and audio once you're done with your recording session. Follow the link below, and once you sign up with the basic or pro plan, you'll earn a $10 credit to use for StreamYard. Happy podcasting.
So on to the male cast members. First one is Kim Hyun Jung. He is the one I said that he looks like a tall Jay Park. This guy was my least favorite.
Oh, really?
He was my least favorite. This dude was a straight up simp for Gia. The moment he said he was like, I'm a puppy. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a puppy.
Like get the fuck out, man. Like, like what? Like what?
Because he was the first one to walk down. Like he was the first character or like cast member to be seen on the show. And I was like, okay, I have high hopes for you. And then the more he just like dawdled around Gia, just like looked at her, waited for his opportunity, and then just like after she showed some kind of interest, he just like
he stopped pursuing everyone else. You know, like he
followed her everywhere.
Yeah, like every chance he got on the show, he was following Gia. Like bro, there's 3 other girls on here. You could at least shoot your shot at one of them just so that in case Gia does not like you, you can have other opportunities on the show. Like that's what pissed me off. And then like again, a lot of the male cast members on the show, they're like 1% dudes. Like they are the 1%ers. They're tall, good looking, muscular business owners. I don't know how much money they make, but these guys are pretty well off compared to the average Asian dude. So, you know, when you got guys like this representing the entire world of Asian men, it just kind of made me pissed. I'm like, dude, you are the biggest simp right now. Like why are you doing this? Like you have everything going for you. You don't need to make yourself look stupid on the show, and he did.
Yeah, because he pretty much just did whatever she told him to do. Which I was like, I guess if you like a girl to boss you around like that, but
yeah, I did not like that at all. I just thought that was very dumb of him. Other than that, I mean, like, I don't know. There's not much I can say about these male cast members that like stood out, because I think a lot of them were just very much the same. They all have the same mentality. They all, you know, very goal oriented, you know, pursuing their careers type thing. There was nothing that really made them stand out to me. So was there anything for you, Savannah? Was there anything that made them stand out to you?
Honestly, it's because I'm a big foodie. So you can already tell who I'm gonna say next. But Sehun was actually my favorite. Like,
because he's the chef.
Yeah. Because when I saw like in episode 1, when he just like took charge of the kitchen, he was like, "We gotta do this. We gotta cook this. We gotta do this." I was like, yeah, that's my kind of man right there.
but none of the other guys like stood out. Like there's nothing about Hyun Jung that stood out to you.
His big muscles and like veins, but that's about it.
Wasted. All those muscles are wasted. Just sipping over a girl. Terrible. But we'll go on to the next male castmate. Oh Jin-taek. You know, this is the guy that So-yeon was like so hung up on.
Yeah.
This guy's my age. He's 30, or he's a little bit older than me, but he's 30. And he, you know, based on his background, he's pretty well off too. He's the CEO of his own tailor company.
Yeah.
So he stood out a lot too, though, because like a lot of the girls like looked at him differently because he had like the facial hair
the chest hair. Yeah.
It's not really. I don't think that's normal in Korea.
No,
at least
it's not.
In Korea, like being like a hairy person. So I thought that was funny how they all brought that up, and like how he had the beard and everything. So I just thought that was funny. But other than that, this guy was a pretty young dude. I was surprised that he actually showed interest in So-yeon at first. But I get it though, like when he started showing interest to Ji-young, that like, you know, maybe he's like playing the field. And you can tell like how he was talking to both girls. Like I guess you could say it's not a player mentality, but it's like he's not hooked onto one girl. He's not dating anyone. So you're single. You just say whatever the hell you want to say. I thought that was very clever of him to speak to them in that kind of manner. Not to where he was overly aggressive, but he still was flirtatious with them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think he was the only guy that really did, at least in the beginning, like did the part in the show of like trying to get to know another girl besides just like the one that he kind of felt interested in at first. Like he actually was like, oh yeah, I'm interested in like Soyeon, but then like I'll also get to know like Juyeon as well, or like he just seemed at first like more open than a lot of the other guys.
Yeah, that's what I like. That's what I liked about this cast member, was just like he was more open-minded. Now, because of that, though, that's why I started not liking Soyeon, though, because she was getting so like emotional about him talking to Jiyeon, and then she's like, she was getting, a little salty there. She was getting intimidated because, like I said, her age probably played a factor in it too. But, like, I just thought it was really, girl, like you could have just talked to another person. That's what gets me mad.
Yeah, I feel like after she kind of, I don't want to say she claimed him, but like after she like wanted to pursue him, it kind of, and then when she got jealous, it kind of seemed like they were already dating each other, and then he was like cheating on her or something. Like that's kind of how she reacted to the situation, as if they were already dating each other. But like,
so you had one paradise date. Like, relax.
Yeah, like girl, you guys are not like officially together.
Yeah, but okay. Do you think he settled for her? I think he settled for her just because he knew that there was no other girl that was like showing the same interest in him.
At first I got that. Like, at first I thought that, but then, like, he actually did like her from the very beginning, though. So, like, she was the one that he like wanted to talk to and wanted to pursue at first. But then it kind of seemed like after they went on that first paradise date, that like I thought that maybe he didn't like her anymore after he got to know her a bit more, and that's why he wanted to go pursue other girls, and then none of the girls wanted to pursue him, and then he was like, okay, I'll go back to the original girl that I like.
Yeah, so that's what I thought too. I thought he was kind of like, okay, well, no one else really is like reciprocating interest, so might not just go for the girl that already likes me. Like I would be like that. I would do that. Like, it's just, I don't know. I didn't like they made it seem like he was not happy with the choice that he made. Like he wanted to. It didn't look like he wanted to be with Soyeon at the end. Like he just did it for the sake of like just settling down, because he knew that she liked him a lot more than he liked her.
Yeah, she really is. You could tell she really liked him, but I don't know. At the same time, I was like, I don't know if it's because of like the way he presents himself in the show, but he just comes off as like a big player to me. So I was just like, I don't know. I don't know how to feel about him. There's some moments where I'm like, I like you, and then like, nah, I don't like you.
These guys are 1%ers, though. You gotta think that, like, they're not just regular everyday Joes. These guys are 1%ers. Like, I would have that same mentality too if I was a young, successful person like that. But I don't know. It's just I liked what he was going for. I thought what he brought in the show was a lot different than the other guys. Mm-hmm. Like even his looks carried him on the show. Like he looked and acted way differently than all the other male cast members in the show, which I thought like brought a good spotlight to him to make him stand out. But other than that, I just did not like that he kind of just stuck with Soyeon all the way up until the end. Did you have anything else to add?
No. At first, I didn't think they were gonna end up together. But so I was surprised that they like left Paradise together.
So next person on here is this is your guy, Moon Sehun, the restaurant manager.
Yep.
The biggest simp on this show. I was getting heated watching this guy on the show. Like this guy was such a. Should I say it on the podcast? Like, fuck it. This guy was such a bitch on the show. I'm gonna say that. I'm saying he was such a bitch on the show. Like, dude, it was only what, episode 2 or 3, and he acted as if his whole world had ended.
Yeah,
Like,
all
really,
like really sad.
really, bro. Get all mopey on a show that's only going to be 9 days. You're not marrying this girl that you're talking to. It just, I didn't like how he was like acting out. Like once he realized like there was no interest from Jian, he kind of just like, oh, I don't know what to do anymore. I don't know, I want to be on the show anymore. Like,
Yeah,
I think
like he didn't want to be there anymore.
Yeah, it's like, dude, there's 3 other girls there.
Yeah.
You know.
I think the reason why I like him, I like him because of like all the funny moments, and then like that one scene where he like finally gets to like go to paradise with her. I think it's because he's so persistent, and I'm just like, okay, I kind of like that. Like that.
You like Sims, Savannah. That's what you like. You like Sims.
the persistency, but it's funny. It's funny because it's like I don't like it when guys do that to me, but I like watching it on the show.
No, you know why? It's because he's a good-looking dude. That's why. If it was an ugly dude that was or someone that you found unattractive pursuing you, you would not like it. But if it was like a decent-looking guy like this guy, like a 1%er chasing you, I'm pretty sure you'd be like, okay, we'll play this game. Like, come on. Like, don't lie. We all know. Like, even in this show, looks matter on this. Like, whether it's dating life, social life, or these TV shows, looks matter. Looks are the first impressions that we give on to people that we're trying to pursue or court. And obviously, this guy's not ugly. It's just I didn't like that he was pursuing a girl that made it obvious she did not like, or she had no interest in. And I think it got a little bit personal for me too as well, because I've been the one to chase and pursue and to be knocked down and then be all mopey and shit too. But like, come on, like I said, like you're on a dating show that's only 9 days. You're not chasing someone to be married with. Like, just have fun with the show. Like, there was one that no one talked to, and then you had 2 other girls that were clearly showing interest in you. Why didn't you pick them? And then like in the part where he gets to go on Paradise again, he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna pick Jion." I'm like,
yeah,
bro,
because like she has to go with him at that point.
I was so mad.
I was dying because the way they edited that scene and everything. I was
They played the song from Itaewon.
Yeah, I died. I was like, oh my goodness, the way they edited that part was so perfect because it was literally the climax in his like part of the show, because he was like, that's the moment he was waiting for. And honestly, at that moment, I loved the commentators and just all of their like comments about him, because literally the whole show, they're like, "Oh, poor Sehun, he looks so sad." And then, like, finally when he like gets to go with her, they're like, "Oh my goodness!" Like, he gets her and stuff. And then, but I think the part that I liked about him on like when they went to the date was he explained to her like you don't have to reciprocate like any feelings back to me. Like, I'm not expecting anything. I just wanted to bring you on this date so I could tell you like how I feel about you, kind of thing.
That clearly says he is a simp. That's what he is. He's a simp. Only simp dudes will say shit like that.
But I feel
I'm getting in my emotions.
But I feel like that was actually really like respectful of him, because I feel like it could have been so easy for him to like take her on that date and then like be really salty,
aggressive,
aggressive with his feelings towards her.
Yeah.
But he was actually
like, why did you like me back?
Yeah, like, but he was actually pretty respectful in the way that he was like, he made it clear like I'm not expecting anything back, which is like, from at least from a girl's perspective, that takes off a lot of pressure, and honestly probably was beneficial to him in that situation, because who knows, like maybe if he was more aggressive, she would have just been like, forget you, dude. But I don't know.
Savannah, like I said, it's only because he's a good looking guy that it works. It only works because he's a good looking guy. had it been some average looking dude like me talking to Ji Young and being like, I don't care if you hurt my feelings. I just want to take you on. Like, you know how creepy that would look if I said some shit like that. It's only like I said, it's only because he's a good looking dude. Take that away. Make him like a regular dude that works a 9 to 5. You know, living with roommates or whatever, like a regular Joe. That would not look the same on camera. But what he did say though was nice, which I'm not gonna take that away. What he did say was nice, like the part where he is like, when he told Ji Young like, you know, like I understand how you're feeling when there's all that pressure on you, so don't feel bad because I'm paraphrasing, but he told her like, don't feel bad about having all that pressure on you because I understand how that's like. And then she started like bawling on camera. Okay, I give him that. Like that was.
I think that was the part
nice
that won.
say.
That was like the part that won me over for him too. Because I was like, wow, that's so nice for a guy to like consider that. Would I still consider him afterwards? I don't know, but like.
Oh my god!
Like the thought is nice.
Oh man,
Maybe
this is why nice guys finish last.
Maybe just because I'm a girl and like I think like I'm like wow that would be so nice. But yeah, like, nice guys do finish last.
This guy is a sucker. I put it that way. Like look again, no hate. It's just based on how they cut the show and based on how this guy was acting on the show. He was my least favorite. Like, I could not stand this guy. Like it was just like, bro, you're like I said, I'm repeating myself. Like you were on this show for 9 days. Make the most of it. Whether you win or don't win or leave single or leave as a couple, like get to know everyone on the show. And it was just weird because like all the guys would just surround each other. Like when he was cooking and they're like, oh my god, he's so good at cooking. Like
they're just like watching him from the back, like wow,
big ass dudes standing behind him. He's so good at cooking. Look at him make the rice. Like, come on, man. Like show some initiative. If anything, that's the only good take I got from Sehun is that he took initiative from the get go. He made food. He was like showing like what a man could possibly be. Like don't wait for people. If you were gonna make food, go and make it. Like that's what he did. I give him that. But other than that, he's a simp. He's a sucker. Ji Young does not like you. She felt bad for you. Yeah.
Yeah. I think watching him in the kitchen, he knows how to take charge in the kitchen.
Yeah, but not in
other areas. Sadly, but
he should apply his kitchen work his kitchen work thoughts into his real life. Like I got to think of everything like food.
Yeah, because honestly, when you watch him, because I had to rewatch the first episode of like when they're all cooking together, and like I was like, wow, he's really like giving directions, taking charge, telling them like, oh, you should mix it like this because this is easier this way, or like you should do this, or like I'll do that. And I'm like, yeah, he should have just done that the whole show, and not just when he's cooking. But I mean, he's that's what he does for his job, so I get it.
But yeah, before we go on to the next person, is any last comments on your man, Sehun?
No.
Okay, so on to the next person. We have Kim Jun-sik. Now, this is the guy that was picked by Itaewon at the end. Very much like her, he didn't have much airtime either. So I don't think we really got to know this dude besides his background. He was like a health person, like doing like health products and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean he had some goofy moments, but he didn't really. I don't have much to say about this guy. He didn't really stand out.
Yeah, I feel like we didn't really get to know him at all on the show. I mean, he's like, of course, like they're all really attractive, so I give that to him. But other than that, I'm like, I feel like I didn't even know him. Like if they didn't put him in the show, sadly, like the show.
I would not remember him. Yeah.
Yeah, like the show wouldn't be any different.
Okay. Well, we'll just go on to the next person then because there's not much to say about him. On to the next person. Your least favorite, Choi Si-hun. Now this is the actor and model the guy who burned his hand on day one.
Yeah.
But yeah, this guy was my least favorite, for pretty much almost the same reasons as I don't like Sehun. But this guy was he did Sumin dirty, and that's why I don't like this guy.
Yeah. Yeah, I just did not like him. He was, I don't know, he was like annoying throughout the show. Just,
He was too metro, like you could clearly tell like out of the guy, because a lot of the guys in the show were very like masculine, athletic, like very macho esque. You know, this guy was very pretty.
yeah.
That's the best. That's the nicest way I can put it.
Yeah. Whenever I saw him, I was like, wow, is that what some K-pop idols would look like standing next to other guys? Just like,
Two regular gym guys.
yeah, because they're honestly, I'm like, man,
That's
all
how
the
BTS would
K-pop-
look like if they were
I'm
next
like,
to
all the
like,
K-pop idols that I love so much. I'm like, that's probably what they're gonna look like next to like other guys.
like to the average American male, or like I guess like how can I put this, like the rappers, right? About some of these rappers are like Chris Brown, or like, you know, they're kind of more fit next to like BTS, who are very tall, lanky, skinny, you know, like they're
Yeah.
the physique's very different. I
Yeah,
don't know.
very
This guy had like a lot of the Korean standards going on for him. Like
Mhm.
there's some people that I've recently got to know, and like just based on your looks in Korea, like how you dress, how you look is like very important. I don't think I could survive in Korea. I'm very like
Yeah.
sweatpants and graphic t-shirts, so they look at me as if I was homeless.
Yeah, I feel like he was a good, I guess, example of like this
The
is
modern Korean man.
Yeah, the modern Korean, the kind of
But even though he's like
their
a one
beauty,
percenter,
like their beauty standard that like this is what they want to be like. This is what all the guys there would like want to be like those guys.
that doesn't
But sad
sell
to
to
say,
me.
it's like it doesn't actually represent the population there. But then I think about all these like K-pop idols, and like they're probably not represent like a good representation of like Korean men,
yeah,
like
yeah.
also. So I'm like, the way they like try to portray their beauty standards is like, I think about American beauty standards, and I'm like, those are already like impossible to meet sometimes. And I think about Korean beauty standards, I'm like, those are even more
That's like
impossible
that's
to
the
meet.
next step up. That's like trying to be a superhero.
Yeah.
Like, there's no, you have to really be born like with the best hand in order to be at those standards. That's what I don't like about like that's the one thing I don't like about the Korean beauty standards, like for men and for women. Like you have to have the absolute complete package to be even considered, not even be a part of, considered to be a part of this community that they're representing. But onto Sihun though. I don't know how to get onto that topic.
I don't have much to say about him because I just didn't like him.
I just didn't like that he did Sumin dirty. He's like, "Thank you for the date," and goodbye. He went on to Gia. It's like, yo, man.
I know. Like, she don't even like you, bro.
Yeah,
like,
she didn't even like this guy, and he was like, "I still like her. I'm gonna like you, bitch." Like
he went
come
from
on.
like, I really like her, and then he was like, okay, maybe I'll like talk to these other girls, and then I feel like he had a moment where he was like, okay, not really into Gia, but then out of nowhere again, he's like, I'm gonna try again. Like, okay,
what's funny too is like Gia made it
you.
clear.
Yeah,
she made it
she
clear
made
to
it
him.
really
She's like,
clear to him.
I don't like you. Like, I'm paraphrasing again. She said along the lines, I'm not interested, or I don't have any like feelings towards you. And that's like he got sulky, right? He was like, oh well, she don't like me. Or I don't know what I'm gonna do now. And then that's when Sumin felt bad for him, took him on the date.
Yeah,
he did her dirty. Just like, come on, bro.
Yeah. I don't know, when Gia actually
Terrible.
actually sat him down and like talked to him like that, I was like, wow, does he not get the hint now? Like, does he not get it? Like, she was pretty clear. She was not like Jiyeon, where like she was just like, you know, kind of breezing by, but like Gia was pretty direct with him. I felt like when she told him,
she was very very straightforward with her response with him.
And then I'm like, bruh, like, he really just at the end of the show went to Gia as well to like go stand by her to see if she's gonna pick him. Like, of course she's not gonna pick you.
We will get to that ending in a bit because we have one more cast member to talk about, and we're already almost an hour and 15 minutes in. Holy shit. No, it's okay. You have time, right? I got
Yeah.
it. Okay. So the last cast member here, Cha Hyun Sung. This guy surprised me. I didn't know that he was like a background dancer already. Like he was in the K-pop world, so it makes sense like how he looks. Which I thought that was pretty impressive. Like this guy is only a year older than me. I was like, holy shit, he did all that already. So he's pretty experienced in the K-pop world. But I thought it was funny too, though, like how he had the advantage. He knew Gia from a mutual friend. Yeah, like he was already planning to meet her beforehand, and then he just met her on the show. And he's friends with, or he's workout buddies with, what's his face, Hyun Jung. Like they were workout buddies or quote unquote friends, and they're competing for the same girl.
Yeah, I thought that was so funny how they brought in someone. I didn't expect them to bring in people who like would know. I mean, I feel like if you're famous in Korea, maybe you all kind of know each other, but like I was surprised they brought him in knowing that like he already knew two of the cast members. But
yeah,
I feel like if I was a producer and a director, I'd be like, let's throw him in to create some drama, but still no drama was made. But it's like, let's throw him in.
I thought he was gonna stir some drama. He based on first impressions, he looked like the type to start drama. Like in the show, you know, like he looks like a villain. Like he looks like a villain.
Yeah.
So I thought he was gonna stir up some issues. I thought he was probably make some moves on So Yeon. I thought he was gonna like try to like go in between Gia and Hyun Jung and the other guy, which he kind of did. But I just thought, man, this guy was kind of like too laid back too. He didn't really pursue anyone but Gia.
Yeah, I thought he was gonna come in and be like, I want Gia and I'm gonna take her. I thought that was gonna be what he was gonna do. Like I thought he was just gonna claim her and then like win her over, and then
he almost did. I was convinced that he was gonna win her over.
Yeah, I thought so too. Like I thought for a split second I was like, maybe she might leave with him, but at the same time, I also knew that she was not gonna leave with him because he was not like the other guy being a puppy dog following her around everywhere.
Terrible. But now that you're bringing it up, let's talk about this ending real quick. So Hyun Sung, who else? I'm forgetting out there. Sehun and Hyun Jung were like the three last guys for Gia. And this is why the Gia is overrated, because she was so boring. How can there possibly be three guys that like this girl? Like wow, like really, like she was so boring. Like how did she like get three guys hooked? And I did not like how it went out. It was just so lackluster. Like you see Sehun and Jian leave. You see Otaek or Jintaek and Soyeon leave. Like it's you kind of saw it happening, right? But with Gia, it's like really three dudes, and who's she gonna pick? Like there was really no connection between Sehun, right? His last name Sehun. Yeah, Sehun and their names are like so complicated. Hyun Jung, like there was really no connection between, or at least from what I've seen on the show, between her and those guys. I thought that Hyun Sung had the best chance, or at least that's what the show was portraying. He looked like he had the best chance there, even on their sailboat date, like he and the paradise date. He had a lot of time with her just to talk to her, to get to know her. Like it was kind of looked like it was sold on that, and then at the end she's like, oh, I'm not picking you either. I'm picking the puppy dog. I was like,
yeah, she even called him puppy too. I was like,
bro,
oh my goodness,
freaking terrible. I was like, what kind of ending is this? This is why your sister and me said like, this is a complete waste of my time. Like it was so stupid.
And when I was asking Amanda, I was like, Nina, you should do the show. Like you should go on the podcast with me so like you could talk too. And she was like, no, because I'm not gonna have anything good to say.
I was literally on my phone texting my sister. I was like, there's no way Gia has three dudes in there. And I'm like, oh, she didn't pick him. She didn't pick him. And then right as I texted her, she's like, let's go, puppy. And I was like, they're like, what the fuck is? I was thinking, like, what the fuck is this? Like, she's picking. He was wearing a red shirt. Like, he's picking red shirt. Like, what the fuck is this? Like, they didn't do nothing. Like, she clearly only picked him because she got attention from this dude. That's all she got.
Mm-hmm.
That was it. I thought
Yeah,
that was
like
lame.
she got his soul attention. Like he didn't even bother to think of any of the other girls. And like I don't know Gia. I don't know how she is. And maybe this is just like a stereotype that I tend to I see, but like I feel like girls who are in like her kind of position with like being
when everything's being handed to
popular,
you.
yeah,
Yeah.
like you want someone who's gonna serve you pretty much, to be at your like beck and call. Like you want them to be there for you.
Yeah, it's constant validation and like
like you need that.
I see. That's the thing too. That I forget that she's a content creator too. Like that she kind of thrives off that. You know, like the fact that there was 3 dudes chasing her said a lot to her. Really, it set her mind to where she thinks she's at in this show, like top tier. When I didn't think she was, but you know, I can say this for just most people, like women and men. Like when there's someone that shows a lot more interest in you versus the other way around, of course it feels good. I'm not gonna deny that. If someone was showing that kind of interest in me, I'm like, all right, let's keep this going. You know, like how far can I take this with me? You know, like I'm not gonna deny
let's go,
that.
puppy.
Yeah, I'm not gonna deny that. But then again, this is in a dating show, 9 days. You know, clearly she does not like this guy. She only picked him for the sake of the fact that he liked her a lot more than she liked him. And she did. I wouldn't want to look stupid and just like reject all 3 of them. I'm gonna take someone, and who am I gonna pick? The person that liked me the most. You know, I get that. I just did not like how they were portraying that because, again, Gia was just very boring in the show. If she was like playing dudes left and right and like, you know, making them compete for her type shit, okay, you know, but it wasn't. It was nothing like that.
Yeah, she was. A lot of her scenes are very like lackluster, not very special. But the way they edited her parts, it's like they were trying to edit her as if she was more than she was portraying. But
like she was like, you mean like just like her character on the show, or like just like what do you mean by that?
Yeah,
they were portraying her personality more than what it was.
Yeah, like they were trying to make her seem as if she was more interesting than like she actually is, or maybe she actually is interesting and it just didn't come across. But
I didn't get that. Whoever thought that she was interesting, I would love to know.
She got a lot of screen time though. Like she got a lot of screen time, and that's why I feel like the editors or like the producers were just trying to like use her popularity, I guess, to really drive the show. And
again, shows like this, they are based on your looks. People don't want to admit that that's real. This is especially in Korea. That's how it goes. If you look good, you like in The Office when Dwight was talking about how selling fruit, you hide all the ugly fruits and put all the pretty ones in the front. You know, like that's pretty much what the show is. They're putting all the pretty people up front to sell you the show, and then once they get you hooked on how these people look, and then they build up the storylines or whatever. But it just, like I said, I did not like this ending. I thought it was whack. Did it waste my time? No, not really. I mean, overall, I enjoyed this show. It's just there are certain aspects of this show I wish they changed. Now, I did not like how conservative they were on the show. I thought that dragged down this show a lot. Like it had these people had opportunities to like kiss or like get like, you know, very sexual with each other, bet that would have changed this whole show. Like it had Western standards, like on The Bachelor, and like they were getting intimate. All these people would change their minds right away.
Yeah, there's actually like I don't think it's an American version, but it is like it's with not Asian people, and I watched like a scene from that, and one of the activities that they're doing in that, they're like I think the guys are blindfolded and then the girls are kissing the guys. Like that's one of the activities that they do in the show. And I'm just like, the comparison, and like it's called the same thing, and it's on Netflix too. It's not called Singles Inferno, but it's like the same concept of Singles Inferno, like exact same concept. But it's just, you can tell like how not conservative and how conservative the Korean show was. Like I don't even think they even held hands. Like
They
barely
did at
held
the
hands.
end.
Yeah.
Towards the end, they held hands, but I think the furthest they got was when Soyeon.
Soyeon was like massaging him.
Massaging him. Like they slept in the same bed.
Yeah.
But there was no further context of that. She gave him a kiss on the cheek. They massaged each other. They slept in the same bed. That's it. Like that's all we get as viewers. Like come on. But let's be real. Like if they definitely smashed if they had that opportunity. There was no way that they're gonna do all that shit and be like, all right, good night. Like,
yeah.
Come on, these are grown ass adults.
Which is definitely like the way a lot of Korean media, Korean shows are. They try to portray them as if like they're very conservative. They don't have sex before marriage or before they officially date each other, and I feel like it's just this false pretense that they like put up, because if you actually go into like a lot of Korean forums and stuff, they're like, actually Korean high schoolers are like crazy, and like the club scenes are like crazy in real life. So it's like they're trying to put up this false pretense of like, no, we're conservative, we don't do that kind of stuff. But when in reality, they do.
Not to cut you off, Savannah, but like if any Korean watchers or viewers of Spoiler Force can back us up on these claims, please do, or correct us if we're wrong. Because again, we're not Korean, we're just watching Korean-based products or like shows and stuff. So there's very minimal knowledge that we know of the culture. Again, this is just based on what we've seen, what we've read, who we know, and whatnot. We're not like professionals at this shit. It's just, if we said something wrong, we correct us. I would love to know, like, why are they so conservative? Because I think being conservative brought down this show a lot. I really do. Like, I'm not saying for them to like completely go explicit and like, all right, smash it out in the hotel room. Like, but I think had there been physical intimacies in this show for other cast members to like do that with, the whole dynamics would have changed. All these guys would have been like, oh, I don't really like her like that, or like, oh, she's already like, those are like telltale signs already, like who you're interested in, who you're not interested in. Like within that week, that says a lot already, being physically intimate with someone. So I did not like that they were just so conservative and playing safe, because like it's like watching it was like it looked like watching high school love type shit. Like, I mean, people who are younger, not of course younger teenagers are not doing that per se, but it's just like it made it look like it was a PG Disney movie. Like, it did not look good for the type of setting or show that they were selling for their viewers.
Yeah, it definitely gave off like conflicting like vibes in the show, because here they are kind of portraying all these like really sexy, like beautiful people, like even like in the workout scenes, they like zoom in on their abs, or like whenever they're like in their bathing suits, they'll like zoom in on them really close up. So it's like, obviously you're trying to have some type of sex appeal here, but then they're like super conservative on the show themselves, which but like going like kind of speaking, it's not just a Korean culture thing, because even like as like I see that in the Hmong community too, where like you try to portray it as if like, no, we don't do that kind of stuff. Like, we don't do that kind of stuff.
Like Black Panther, like, no, we don't do that here.
yeah, but it's like it's very like hush hush. Like, you don't talk about that. You're like sex. Like, you don't talk about that kind of stuff here. We are pure kind of thing that they want to portray, and like I see that within like a lot of Asian like cultures too, because I see it in our culture. And so, but surprisingly, like nowadays, like it is becoming more normal to talk about and like more normal to like put out there, but it's definitely still, I feel like it's still a very taboo topic.
It's a very contextual thing. It's all about context, about when and where you say that, like these, or have like these kind of conversations, or bring up like topics like this, right? Because at least, like I said, at least on this dating show, it would have made things more clear to all the contestants that if you were being physically intimate with someone, there the mindsets of everyone would have changed. Like had So Young came back from like Paradise Date and like, yeah, we smashed. All no one else would. I'm pretty sure the females and the males would probably not pursue either one of them anymore because
Yeah.
they said that no one would have done that. But what made it stupid is like because there was no context of that, and yet they still zoned in and like picked one person. I did not like that. That's what I didn't like. Like unless there was real intimacy being shown or portrayed in front of other cast members, it's fair game. Like for me, I would care less. I'm not here to make friends with you. I'm here to try to get a girl. Like what? I'm not here trying to be buddies with you guys. Like, and that's what I saw a lot in the show. Like everyone was being friends. Like come on, like you guys are all wasting. This is not church camp. All right, like we're not here to be friends. Like we are here to potentially find someone that we can date or match with on an intimate level, and just, that's what the show kind of was lackluster on. I just like, okay, so they could have just named this singles best friends or some shit like that. You know, like there was nothing spicy or nothing sexy about like all these people coming together and being in a Disney club.
I feel like the old-fashioned part of me actually was like, okay, I can get behind not seeing people make out here and there on the show because I watched The Bachelor. I watched The Bachelor and like, and those shows they like are making out all the time. So it's like you like after a while, I feel like I've gotten to the part.
It's just like
I've gotten to the part where I'm just like,
softcore
okay,
porn.
can you guys like stop sucking each other's faces and like talk to each other? Because that's how I feel like on like, okay, if you watch Bachelor in Paradise, like sometimes it's just scenes of them sucking each other's faces, and I'm just like, okay, when are you guys actually talking and getting to know each other? I feel like for this show, maybe that's why I appreciated that there was less physical contact because I was like, okay, maybe they are actually going to get to talk to each other more, be more respectful of each other, and we don't have to just have scenes of people sucking each other's faces. Maybe that's why I was a little bit more like, okay, I'm okay with this. But at the same time, I'm like, how kind of unrealistic it was.
Yeah, no, that's
them.
and that's like I don't watch like The Bachelor or anything. I've seen like one or two episodes. I know what it's about. It's just, I guess, because I'm not like super conservative either, but I'm smart enough not to put myself in the spot where I'm gonna tell you everything either, like on a like on a TV show. Like I said, it would have just helped make things more clear to other contestants. Like at this point, I don't even care about what the viewers think. I'm thinking about the other contestants because I'm putting myself as if I'm on this show, right?
If you were on this show.
If I'm on this show and I see like them sucking face over there, I know better not to pursue this girl because she's got something with them. But if they're just talking and like they're just, oh, I think I may like this person, like it's fair game. I don't care if you like this person. I like you too. Like, come on. Then like, it's just that's what I did not like. But it just again, Asian culture is very conservative like that. Like, it's not good to like growing up. We know what it's like growing up to have our parents tell us like, don't watch this or don't do this. Like it's bad for you, especially growing up in a church community where it makes things 10 times worse. You're not even supposed to touch hands.
Yeah.
It's different watching this. So like when you compare like Western dating shows compared to this Korean show or to Eastern show, I don't know how other Eastern shows do it, but compared to Singles Inferno in Korea, it is a very different mentality on how these productions take on these shows. Of course, in America, sex sells. That's why a lot of that stuff is on TV because that's what draws the American viewers. But versus the Korean or the Asian culture of things, we like to see the more intimate side of things, the more cat and mouse type thing. Like how did you find I have parents are always like, how did you two meet? It's like that. It's not like it's not like where right away you're hooking up. It's like, oh, how did you meet? How did you guys get together? It's more like that.
Yeah. And I do wonder how, because we grew up, in America, we're so used to everything being, more that Western perspective and that Western appeal. So I do wonder how, the Korean community like reacted to this show. Like I wonder how like in Korea, like how did they react to the show, which I didn't really look into after watching the show, like
Yeah,
how it was
I didn't
perceived
either.
there, but it would be interesting to know like how they perceive the show.
I would like to know how Korean Americans perceive this show.
That would be
Like
interesting too.
I don't know too many Korean people yet, or at least here in Dallas. I one of the roommates we have is Korean. He just moved into with me and my cousin Michael, but I haven't really talked to him about like topics like this, so I wouldn't know. And that's just one person out of many, right? So
Yeah.
I would definitely like to know if there's any Korean American listeners that watch or listen to Spoiler Force. Like I would love to know more on your thoughts on Singles Inferno, or and if there's any Korean viewers or watchers at all. Hopefully there is a few. Like how it's the difference between watching American shows and watching this show, because I could be wrong, but maybe what if the assumption, like when they look at American dating shows, they're like, look how disgusting they are. You know,
Yeah,
like,
yeah, it could be that way too. Like I'm just imagining like my parents be like, that's gross. Why would they do all that on?
They're not
like,
even
why would they do
married,
all that
right?
on TV? Like, why are they gonna put all that out there?
yeah.
Like, I can just hear it already. So I don't know. Like, is that the way? It's like, is that a way like American TV shows are perceived? Perhaps.
But like how we grew up, like our folks think like living together with your significant other is already a bad thing. Like, why aren't you married yet? Like when are you getting married type deal. Like, why are you living together? Like, it's very old fashioned, but then it's just funny because some of that, how our parents feel or how our grandparents felt, that's still the standard in like certain countries today, where they look at us like, oh my goodness, like these Americans are out of control. Look what they're
Crazy,
doing.
yeah.
Yeah. So it's all about the perspective on how we watch these shows. Now, again, granted, it's all media entertainment first and foremost. So it's clearly there's a lot of things that are scripted, set up. But based on what I know on the show is that, from what I read, is that the interactions were authentic. But I do think they did set up a lot of the things where, like, you know how like they would awkwardly go and, hey, do you want to go take a walk? Like, clearly the production crew was like, go and ask her for a walk.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
because that was already awkward enough. Like, like imagine some guy came up to you and like, Savannah, you want to go for like a walk? You know how weird that is? Like, a walk? Like, you're gonna try to kill me or something? Like, how weird that is?
Yeah. If I was in that environment, I'd be like, let's just sit here.
Yeah, come join us. Like, we're
Yeah,
talking
just
already.
go sit here. Yeah.
Like, I would be more like, I would definitely be more like more not as obvious. I'd just be like, hey, you want to get some water with me, or something like that. But like, I don't know. I don't like how the dialogue was when they're trying to initiate like a private conversation. Like, do you want to go for a walk? Like, no one does that. Like, not at least not in this day and age. Like, no one tells you like, let's just randomly go for a walk and talk. Like, it's just that's not realistic to me.
I guess it wasn't too weird for me to see that on a TV show, because at least in like The Bachelor, like in Bachelor in Paradise, when they like wanted to go talk to someone who's already talking to another person, they'd be like, can I steal you for a second? Can I just like, can we go over here to talk? Can we go over here? So I like am a little used to it. I think the awkward part is how he did it. Like, he was so like, do you like, could we go take a walk? Like, he was like very shy, like not like can we like go talk or something. Like, he wasn't very.
Then this is when
firm.
Sehun was asking. I think this is when Sehun was asking Jiyeon, right, to go on a walk.
Yeah, he was not firm with it.
Yeah, he's very beta. Like he's very scared. Like, is it okay if I take a walk? No one's gonna go walk with you if you ask like that.
Like, if you're gonna ask, just ask.
Yeah. Be firm with your question. Like, he has like a hood on, like opening the thing. Can you go on a walk with me? Like, not even making eye contact. Like, come on, no one wants to go with you if you do that type of shit.
Yeah.
But did you have any other inputs on the show? Like, what you didn't like? Was there something like you didn't like that they did on the show? I felt like I did a lot of the talking already. So like, did you feel like did you think there was something on the show that you wish that was different or could have been changed?
I wish it was longer. Like, they had more time and not just 9 days together. Like, that's such a short amount of time to get to know someone. And then decide that like you want to leave and like pursue something with them afterwards. Like 9 days, it takes me like I don't even know how long to even think about if I like you. So I don't know. I wish they had more time. I also wish it wasn't like I wish they had more activities
Oh
to
yeah,
do
more
because
games.
yeah, because they only did like 2 games for the guys, 2 games for the girls, and then it was like done. And maybe it's because it's the limited time; they didn't have enough time to do other stuff. But I felt like they could have done more with like their time that they had there, or like had more opportunities for them to compete against each other to win and go on dates or something.
That I agree with. I think there could have been at least more, whether it's physical or mental strategies or games, right? They had opportunities to do like the whole, like private or intimate type of date, not like a paradise date, but like to be on your own and have time
Yeah.
together. That there should have been more of that for sure.
Yeah. I also wish like their activities they did weren't so physical because it's
Yeah.
only like because didn't like Sehun like did he win both of them or like
Or yeah,
almost
he won the
he was
majority
like
of the games.
he was a top contender in them because obviously
Yeah.
he's probably like
So much for
he's
being a chef. He was like pretty athletic too.
yeah
like,
pretty
winning
athletic, but I do feel bad for like okay even though I don't like him like Sehun like he's not the most athletic guy out there. He's like very fragile looking. So I'm like, I feel bad for you, dude, because like you're not even
You're
gonna
not
be
gonna
able to.
win.
You're not gonna win
Yeah.
any of these. So and also like for me, I am not a very like athletic person. So I would have been like, could we have something for the underdogs here who are not just like super fit and athletic, like a mind game or like
Eating
something that
challenge.
like something else. Like have more like variety. Like because I watch a lot of like Korean variety shows where they do like just like these random little like games together or like it's more just like thinking fast on your feet or something. So like,
Watch they turn into Squid Game.
that'd be
Playing
crazy.
tug of war.
But I just wish they would have done a more variety of activities.
No, you also brought up a great point of like the length of the show, right? We keep talking about how they only have a week. Like even shows like Jersey Shore had pretty much the summer to be all be together and be housemates. Hopefully, maybe in season 2 they'll extend the length of time for these cast members to be on this kind of show. Because like season 1, it's the pilot, it's the season premiere type thing. Maybe the budget's not there. They don't know how the show's going to be, so they're setting everything to where it's possible, but not impossible to do. And I think with them being with the show having a season 2 confirmed, I would like to see a much longer season, maybe 12 episodes instead of 8.
Yeah.
12 episodes is usually how it goes for most seasons that are not too stretched out. Like a good slice of life anime is like 12 episodes only. They're not like the regular 24 to 25 episodes. So maybe for a show like this, 12 episodes would be long enough to kind of like cut and paste the times that's whatever's aired and editing and all that stuff. But yeah, I think that's a great point you brought up too. I think not just having 9 days, but 8 episodes for viewers to watch. That's very quick. You could binge that in a day.
I know 8 hours. That's like a work day. Like you could watch that while you were at work.
Was there anything else that you had to add on about the show?
That was really it. I also wish they had more people on the show, not just that small group.
Yeah.
I get first season and everything, still testing it out. I wish there were more people. Because I feel like since there was so limited, that's why people didn't really explore options because there's not enough, maybe.
There's a bit of a fallback to that, though, don't you think? Like, let's say if there was 10 girls and 10 guys, that's 20 people. You have to learn all these people and their personalities. I mean, The Bachelor, there's only one guy, though, right? But there's like 20 girls.
Yeah, like one guy and like a lot of girls. But even in like Bachelor in Paradise, where it's like they even out like the amount of girls and guys, it's more. It's like more than just 5. They have like a lot more people to go to in like I guess I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm comparing the shows too much to each other, but I do see the benefit in having more people because then if like one person rejects you, then you have like a lot of other people who you can like go talk to.
Right.
Or if it's like, I don't know, maybe if there are more people, they're less likely to just become buddies with each other, and then they're like actually just like competing against each other. Because if there are like 10 guys, I don't know, all 10 guys are going to become as close as like those 5 guys did, because there's only them. So
Would you say the cliques that would create more drama though? And
it
I'm pretty
would
sure
create
people
more
who-
drama,
yeah,
and
people
more
would
drama is more
means
entertaining.
more viewers. Yeah.
Yeah, because honestly, I don't watch Bachelor in Paradise for the love. I watch it for the drama. Like, that show has so much drama. And
I want to see you turn on each other and snitch on each other and
honestly, though, because like
be
Bachelor in
fake friends
Paradise,
to each
like
other.
there's so much drama. Like, I don't even watch The Bachelor or The Bachelorette anymore. I just wait for Bachelor in Paradise because I want to see the drama. And I feel like Singles Inferno, if they had more people, there could have been a lot more drama.
It would have really been a Singles Inferno if there was more.
Which is, I feel like is what
people.
the producers tried to do with adding in the people, but they didn't. They couldn't do it.
Yeah, that I want to touch up on that too. I did not like that. Had they just had all the cast members like from the get go be together, like I said, 10 people, 10 guys, 10 girls. Maybe for me that's a bit much because I'm not gonna try to remember all these people.
Mm-hmm.
Like minimal, like 7 each, right? But let's just say had they had for season 1, had they had Minji, Sumin, and the guy, I'm terrible with the guys' names. Hyun Sung on before, like just cutting in the middle. I think it would have changed the game a lot more because I think honestly I think the 2 other girls, Minji and Sumin, I think they had a lot to bring into the show. Hyun Sung maybe not so much. He made it clear he liked Gia a lot, but I think the 2 girls that had they come in the beginning of the show, I think it would have definitely stirred up the competition more. Not had they had the same even amount of time distributed to get to know all these other people.
I feel like for Hyun Sung, I feel like if he came at the beginning of the show, I feel like Yeon would have liked him because they actually had like a small moment where they were like talking to each other.
Oh yeah, she was flirting with him,
and she was like flirting with him. I feel like if he came at the beginning, she probably would have like.
Well, I thought he was gonna pursue her too. I really thought I liked that moment
so
when they were talking.
They had so much chemistry in that moment.
Yeah.
But and then he like went to go choose GSO. But I feel like if he was there from the beginning, maybe he would have explored things more, and the show would have given Yeon more airtime. I don't know.
And that's the thing too. I think now that do you think season 2 will bring back some of these cast members? Or do you think they'll have a whole new list?
I kind of want them to just have all new people because as much as like this old cast is like they're cool and everything, but I'm ready to just see new people and just to see how if they're gonna change anything. Like, are they gonna continue to just keep the typical like Korean beauty standards, or are they actually going to try to venture out to like other people, but
different races or like different looks?
Yeah, not even a race, because I get it's a Korean dating show. I get it. But if they were to just have more variety on like this is what like everyone looks like, I don't know. It would be interesting.
Well, more average looking people on the show?
Yeah, like more average looking, I don't know.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, of course, again, this show is not going to be picking the average person, but it would be nice to know that there are some average people on this show. Like, I think for most of the viewers, I think that's what we would want as someone who's trying to relate to these people. Because, be honestly, there's no way you could relate to these 1%ers besides their love life of struggling to find someone. Like,
yeah.
Again, these people are on the top of the food chain already. It's not like they can't go out and find this. It's just because they look good that they're able to be on the show like this. If the show ever decides to be like, we're gonna just pick some like regular looking folks, I think that'll bring a whole new dynamic too, though. You can see
It
how
would.
how would they all like mingle with each other, not knowing like because these when this first cast all got to know each other, they already knew like in the back of their mind like they all bring something to the table. It's not like you guys there's like a class societal class difference.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not like you're like middle bracket or top bracket. Like you know what I'm saying, like financial brackets. It's not. They all kind of know like okay, we're all in the same boat here.
Yeah.
So there's no like judgment or criticism to your other castmates if had like they let's say for example like if say Hun was like, oh yeah, I'm a professional chef at like McDonald's. You know, they would look at him a lot differently than him being like, oh, I run my own restaurant.
Yeah, that's true.
So I really doubt that the producers will do that, but they do actually. Make
It
that
would be
happen.
interesting.
Yeah,
but
it would be very,
I doubt
I would
it. But
I would applaud them if they actually did it because I would like to see some average or some. I hate saying average. Like I just want to see some regular people who just like apply for the show and see how they do with other regular people who apply for this show and see how this works out.
But I
like
wonder
no
if
more
people
1%ers.
I wonder if people even apply for the show or if they like go in.
It's definitely like it's probably it's like an Instagram, like a social media thing. It's definitely like a social media or like some sort of social status because again, a lot of these people had something to bring to the table. Like Hyunsung, he was a dancer for like a K-pop idol, so like that itself was already like, oh, we're gonna pick him because he's got something we can talk about, you know. So that's the thing that sucks because like if you're not like if you can't bring something to the table that'll make not just the producers talk, but like viewers talk, then of course they're not going to pick you unless you really stand out, like the Jersey Shore people who like they were just regular people
who became famous people.
Yeah, you know, like they brought something to the table because of their personalities. You know, like if it wasn't for like Snooki being Snooki, we would not know who she is.
Yep.
So.
Yep. Yeah, I am excited for this next season. I'll probably wait till all the episodes are out before I watch it. But
was this a weekly? I didn't know this was weekly.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, okay.
It was like a slow release. So
damn.
Yeah,
I can only imagine. I can only imagine the slow burn of waiting for the next episode if you've already been like hooked onto the show. I'll be pissed.
Yeah, I was like, because when I watched it, I think like it was up to like episode 6, so I only had to wait 1 week for the last 2 episodes. But I was like, I don't even want to wait a week. I just want to watch it to just like watch it now. Like, I'm gonna have to wait for all the episodes to come out.
Okay, so Savannah, we're coming towards an end to this episode. Was there any additional comments you'd like to say about Singles Inferno? I think we've covered a lot already. There's like some of our least favorite moments, the cast members, what our thoughts were for season 2. Like, is there anything else you wanted to add on that you didn't get to say?
I think the only like other comment I would have to make is it's funny because at the very beginning of the podcast you mentioned how you didn't like the commentary, but I actually really enjoyed all the commentary on like all the commentators had to make because I watched this alone, and when I watch Korean dramas or when I watch shows, like I love to have someone to react with or like someone to like freak out with
to commentate with.
Yeah, to like commentate with, or like I'll be like, oh my goodness, like I have no one to freak out about. Like that just happened. Like that scene where Sehun finally got to take Jiyeon like on the date. I was freaking out, and I was like, I have no one here to freak out with. But then like the commentators are all freaking out, so I'm like, I get to freak out with them. So it's like
I'm not alone.
Yeah, it's like I'm not alone. Like I get to watch the show with other people. Like it's like you are watching it with other people because they're watching it at the same time as
oh my god!
That's like
you can't just like agreeing with them, like, oh my god, what you said is correct. I agree.
Yeah, yeah, it's funny because I'd be like thinking it, and then the next thing is like their commentary on it. And I'm like, yes, someone to like talk with without actually having to talk with. Because when I watched the show, I had to watch it all by myself, so it's like I have no one to freak out with. So that would be my last comment. Like I hope they keep all the I know they'll keep commentary, like the commentators, But
Hopefully
I
they
like,
keep the same commentators though. and
yeah,
not change it up.
I really like the commentators. It was like perfect. Like just 4 is like perfect for me to like sit and watch with. So
It's enough
that's like the
perspective from
last piece.
from other people. I gotta say I do agree with that. I like I said, the commentators grew on me as the show went on. Initially, they were just annoying because I didn't know who they are. I don't know who these people are. I didn't even know who that guy was from Super Juniors. I had no idea. I didn't know who they were. To me, they just look like they just look like some regular Korean like media people that just got the gig because of their status. But now that we kind of know who, or at least for me, at least we kind of get to know who and what they are. Hopefully, they keep the same commentating group because you don't want it to be like these 4. The next thing you have like Joe Rogan on commentating like the this next game, the next season or something. Like, it'll throw off the whole like what happened to the first 4,
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we've covered quite a bit on this show. We're literally almost 2 hours into this. I didn't think we would hit 2 hours, just the two of us.
Yeah, I was like, what are we gonna talk about? There's a lot to talk about, I guess.
Yeah, I guess we both had a lot to talk about, and of course, the soju helped me kind of like to get the mind rolling. So, but again, thank you, Savannah, for being on the podcast and for giving me your thoughts on the show. Honestly, I was very nervous on how I was going to talk about a Korean reality dating show. This is something I don't even review on the podcast. Again, like if you know Spoiler Force, it's strictly anime, comic books, movies, and stuff like that. I don't even like talk about this stuff, but this show got me hooked within the day I watched it. So I had to talk about it. And of course, Savannah came in clutch. She was like, yes, let's just talk about it, So
yeah. Anything
thank you.
Korean K-drama related?
Hopefully for season 2, we have at least 2 more people to join us to geek
Yeah,
out about
yeah.
Singles Inferno.
Yeah, we'll have to find more people to commentate with us.
But not just that. I know people like this show. They just didn't want to admit that they like this show. So anyone who is shy about us, please, next season 2, I know there are some of you that follow me that like the show that just didn't say anything. If you want to be on the show the next season, for season 2's episode review, please just jump on the show. It'd be great to have just people to commentate with this stuff with. And if me and Savannah says anything wrong, that's like not correct in like culturally or anything like that, please correct us in the comments or let us know. Give us your thoughts on who your favorite cast member was or your favorite moment or part of the show and all that. Because we like to know. We like to know what your thoughts are. Maybe you guys think differently from me and Savannah, but this is our thoughts on Singles Inferno. And again, thank you, Savannah, for your time. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Do you have any last words at all?
No, just thank you for actually having me on the podcast. I was like, I didn't know what I was going to say, but it's actually a really fun time just talking about this because I'm always open and willing to talk about these shows. So this has been fun.
Yeah. This is great. Again, and you get bragging rights. First girl cousin in the family that has been on the show. It's always the guy cousins coming through, so you get to say you got first dibs. You get to be like, yes, I'm the first girl cousin. That's on Spoiler Force. But thank you again, and to anyone who's watching or listening, please like, share, and subscribe to Spoiler Force. Follow the Discord to get all the behind the scenes or most of the behind the scenes stuff. If you want to support Spoiler Force, check out the Patreon. There are 2 tiers that you can support on with. It's very simple stuff. Again, if you enjoyed this episode, give it a thumbs up. Make sure you follow on YouTube. Click on that notification bell. And that's pretty much it. I think my next episode will be another movie review. I don't know which one just yet. But if you'd like to see Savannah back on, let us know in the comments as well. Let us know how she did as a first girl cousin and as a new guest on the show. So that'd be great to know. But that's pretty much it. This is episode 133. Thank you guys so much and have a great day.
If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to give a review and rate Spoiler Force Podcast. If you want to get all Spoiler Force updates or even peeks at behind the scenes, you can join the Spoiler Force Discord community. And if you'd like to show support, give tips, recommendations, sponsorships, or any collaborations, you can email me at rickyvang92@gmail.com.